Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
It is picked up by the Lions. Coming back right side, 25. Picks up a block at the 30. It's at the 40.
Drink it in, drink it in. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Rolls to the right. Stafford throws deep. Got a man out there. Enzo. Caught.
Drink
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Stefan!
it in, drink it in.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Cornbread.
Stefan! Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid drinkers, what is going on? It is Wednesday. We are back here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. I'm your host, Derek Oakrey. We are here talking Detroit Lions, as we always do, twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays, and I am excited for the show. We've had some tremendous guests. It's the off season, but it is cranking up. Lions heading to free agency. Lots going on with the team. But I got a guy this week that's coming back on the show. I mean, he's been gone for a while.
Bruh.
This guy is doing big things, and I'm talking big things in the business world.
Bruh.
This guy's got a new special lady in his life, yet he still made time for the podcast.
Bruh. Bruh. Bruh.
He's here today to talk some football and chop it up with me. He's been on the show before. Stefan is back in the building, and the guy's even got his own theme music.
Bro.
Stefan, you've been gone. You disappeared on me. You're coming back on the Koolaid Cast. It's time to drink it in. How you doing, bruh?
Dude, what an intro. I love the hype. I'm doing well, man. Yeah, I got a special lady in my life. She was kind enough to give me a few minutes to talk to my good buddy Derek Oakrey in the house, softball legend himself, Singlio. No one better than just hitting a dinger to center field and just trotting to first and chilling. Never seen
one bag at a time. That's a sport we shall not
man.
speak of, though.
Good
I mean, we're here to talk football, bro. I mean, we're here to talk Detroit Lions. Are you ready to do this or what?
I'm ready, man. I can't help but give you a little bit of crap for how slow you are. But hey, listen, Detroit Lions all day.
No doubt about it, man. Let's pull your music down and let's serve up a glass for the people. I mean, you are on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. I know you got a mug there. I know you got a big old pitcher. Let's fill it up.
Drink it in, man.
Drink it in.
There it is.
I love it.
Honolulu blue flavor.
I got my orange soda ready to go. Keep the pipes nice and loose right there.
Your mic's sounding good. You don't put the people to sleep already. We got to start talking Lions. You're talking about that other sport off the top. I mean, we can't do that here on the show. So let's talk some Lions. And since I haven't talked to you in like a calendar year, we got COVID going on, life's upside down, world's crazy, and you just vanished. I got to get your thoughts, man. All of a sudden, like a month or so ago, it pops up on the old bottom line of NFL Network. Matt Stafford and the Detroit Lions agree to part ways. I mean, I almost fell off my chair when I saw it. I actually had a buddy over about to watch the big Conor McGregor fight. He jumped out of his chair. He was so excited. I mean, he's been wanting this to happen forever. Where were you? What did you think? Where are you at with Matt Stafford not only deciding that, but quickly being moved out of Detroit out to the West Coast?
Right. You know, man, like, I'm happy for my man. You know, listen, like, I know he loves Detroit. I love the fact that, you know, he's so loyal. You know, the players love him. The fans love him. Obviously, ownership loved him. But, you know, like, as much as I hate to see the guy go, it's like, it was time, you know. I wasn't – it was like a weird, like, calm about it. I was like, all right, my man did his thing here. He gave us his all. I want to go see him win. You know, I also think the fact that we got so much in return, that surprised me. It really made me happy. Thought we actually, for once, like overachieved. Can't believe the Lions like overachieved, but dude, and like obviously it was still shocking. I never thought the guy would leave. He's openly stated he never wanted to leave. All the things he's done, just to outright show his love and support for Detroit. Nothing but respect. But I think it was time. I'm happy that like they came to terms. I think there's bright futures for both. So with that being said, I think we're doing it the right way. I think he has a chance to go back to some sunshine. Not from, everyone's always about Dallas, but I was excited to see him go out to the Rams, get that greatest show on turf back in action from a man there. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited for him. I'm more excited for us. I think we're doing things the right way for like the first time and forever, really. And we'll see what happens.
It's about time you got back to the Lions, because you're going on and on about, you're happy for Stafford. You hope he does X, Y, and Z out on the West Coast. Like, we all respect number 9. We were happy to have him as our quarterback, but me, yourself, plenty of other people, like you said, had reached that point where it was like, we're tired of the fourth quarter stats. We're tired of the comebacks that don't even mean anything in the standings. And we had just seen enough. We knew what we had in this guy. We had a pretty good to above average NFL quarterback, and his contract was what it was. And it was time to move forward and get a new leader for the team. So my opinion is like, yeah, I wish Stafford well, but I also am fired up for the Lions, because to me, it feels like they brought in the new GM, Brad Holmes, brought in the new head coach. It was time to move on from the quarterback. They did so. They didn't just give him away. I know friends that would have just been like, hey, if Matt Stafford got released or was just let go or retired, they wouldn't have cared. So the fact that we moved him on to the Rams, got a first, a third, and Jared Goff, the number 1 overall pick a few years ago, to come in here and either be a bridge quarterback or possibly better than that. The guy could come in and be solid for this team. To me, he's Matt Stafford light. So I feel really good about this trade for the Lions, and I hope Stafford does well, but it's all about the Lions here on the show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, I got to start off by paying him respect. But you said it was time. How many times any radio host, how many, fans or, friends all across the board are fed up with him. It was like I feel like a lot of like love hate. You were either a complete Stafford slappy, or you were the guy's a complete bum. But of course, like you said, he's an above average. He's a great quarterback. He did as well for a lot of times. But I mean, that quiet leadership was awesome. I think the players loved him. But listen, it's time. The fact that we got so much in return. Oh my God! Like my eyes lit up. I was shocked. Never thought it was going to happen. Yeah, I mean, shoot, the fact that return, that Hall came back, I mean, all day, every day. Shoot, I wish we could have done that, 3-4 years ago and been in a place now to win. But listen, better late than never.
So let me ask you this. So everybody loves the draft picks. I mean, especially the fact that they bumped them back a couple years. So it's like, you're not going to burn them up now while they're trying to rechange up the team. We know Dan freaking Campbell needs to get his knees under him, his legs under him before he gets going. So push those picks back. Everybody likes that part of it, especially even a third rounder this year. They'll get a good player. Probably could get a receiver at that spot, which would be nice. We'll talk about Kenny Golladay later. We're going to get into, some expectations for this team here on the back half of the show. But where are you at with Jared Goff? I mean, this is a guy that number 1 pick overall. He led his team to a Super Bowl. He's won multiple playoff games, all things Matt Stafford has never done in over a decade here in Detroit. But he did have a down year. He does turn the football over a good amount. Are you excited to see Jared Goff in a Lions uniform? Are you just like, hopefully they draft a guy and then he can just be shuffled aside, before we pay him too much money? Where are you at with Goff coming to Detroit?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Like I said, it could go anywhere. No chance. Obviously.
I think he does have a chance.
Small hands McGee
I meant to give you a bro.
He's
drop.
able to win. My man's Jared. He's obviously got potential. He's been there, done that, which is great. Obviously had a down year, like you said. But the fact that he's won, he's tasted that, he can bring that to Detroit. I'm not sold on the guy by any means, but like, shoot, like the dude has won. Like, why can't we re-tap into that? We got Mark Brunell as position coach. Hopefully he can maybe relight that that fire under him that kind of got him that initial success, kind of rebuild that confidence. I think the fact that it was pretty clear for a while, my man's was not wanted in LA, which, kind of alarming. Same time, he's wanted. Let's show him he's wanted here. Let's give him a second chance. Let him get that confidence. Let him maybe, reignite his, he's very young, so it's like not like he's washed up by any means. Obviously we gotta shore up that O-line, give him some protection, let the man stay healthy, but I'm just kind of at a wait and see place with him right now. I think I like the potential. At the same time, he could just be a very good bridge quarterback. We're doing a complete rebuild, so no expectations really. If he's better than anticipated, great. If not, well, it was nice knowing you, bro. You served a purpose. That's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm not going to have any like hard lines in the sand. He's going to serve a purpose one way or the other.
Bruh.
I hear you. So, like, I guess where I'm at with it is a little bit in the middle too. It's kind of like, hey, this guy got picked at the top of the draft for a reason. He's smart. He can throw it. He's got the size. He's got the athleticism. He used to be a basketball player, all that type of stuff you like. But, he's going to come in and be kind of that ho-hum leader, I think, as well. Now, if he can throw it around the yard and they can surround him with more weapons, then I think he might be able to do some things. But if they just lay him out there and don't give him, what he's looking for, or it doesn't come together, or if he's turning the ball over and also not that leader the locker room is looking for, I could see it going badly. But he's not a cheap player. He makes a good amount of money, but he does play quarterback as well. So we just saw what Dak Prescott got, $40 million per, all these crazy contracts. He's going to be in that 20 to 30 range before it's all said and done. And my thing is, if he comes in here and plays above expectations, like doesn't turn it over as much, throws it, he's not going to make the throws Stafford made, but if he can just make quality football plays and protect the ball and score touchdowns and lead the team a bit, that's going to be great for this team, because people act like he's just this throw-in, and you don't just throw in a quarterback that's 26 years old, already signed a contract, can make all the plays you need him to make. It's just, will it all come together quick enough, I think, and will he be able to quickly get up to speed with Detroit and live up to kind of what Matt Stafford left here? He's going to have to play pretty well, make some good throws, make some good leadership to win over that locker room and the fan base. But I'm actually excited about Jared Goff, and kind of as you hinted at, if they lay the groundwork behind the scenes too with players or another quarterback, I think that it can be nothing but good, because I'm sure he wouldn't mind moving on if that's what they decide to do in a year or two. And if he balls out and plays incredible, we're just sitting here like, man, we got all these draft picks and we got ourselves a quarterback that's equal to or even better maybe than Stafford in some ways. Sign me up for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Obviously, again, a lot of money. It's tough to, I guess, like, the whole rebuild mentality nowadays is rookie quarterback contracts, surrounding them with a wealth of talent. But at the same time, if the cap goes up, we might have some wiggle room. But they do play basketball. That's great. I played basketball. Just Jack. But yeah, he's 26. Let's see what he's got. He does have that quiet leadership, so it's not like he's going to come light the world on fire by any means. But I think again, he's got a lot of upside.
Hold on. We talked enough.
I'm unsold.
We talked enough about Jared Goff. Let me say this. I will move to another topic. Now, you touting your basketball skills on this show, just like you did last time you were on, saying you're some soccer phenom, and you tried to talk baseball off the top of the show before I had to crush that. Like, are you just trying to act like you're this multi-sport star here, Stefan? You play a game that pretends to be football over there in the UK, but we're here to talk about the real game of football, not that pansy sport where you run around, they hand out yellow cards and fake injuries. You know where you're at, right?
Bro, listen.
Drink it
I can't
in,
help the fact that I'm a well-rounded athlete, and the people need to know I know what I'm talking about because I performed at a high level for a very long time. I'm just trying to bring that real world experience and relate it to Lions football. So if you're going to hate, that's all good. But, I'm an athlete, bro. I'm an athlete.
Well, why did we never square off in a game of horse or a game on the court? Probably because of this.
No, I think you got scared. That's what you got.
You got no chance, son. I mean, I used to play in the streets. I used to play in the ghettos of Dayton, Ohio. I was dropping fools, breaking ankles. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got nothing on this. You're always here, and you're trying to run down my game on the diamond, talking about my speed. Dude, I was the one out there throwing cannons while you were letting the ball get past you all day long. So don't fool the people here about what's going on sports-wise. I mean, you may be able to run around in Umbros and have orange slices.
I don't want to have the
Hold on, I'm talking. You can't talk over me, bro. This is my show, bro. Bro, you might be able to have the Umbros, bruh, and those orange slices and run around and kick the old ball in that huge net that nobody can seem to hit. But other than that, I mean, I think I've beat you in multiple things over our time as friends. So, can we move on now? Can we talk about more Lion stuff, or do you want to have a retort about how incredible athletically you are?
Let's talk Lions, bro. I got you.
All right, so my next topic, I mean, Brad Holmes came on. He's the GM. He's my favorite thing the Lions have done because I love the GM role. I'm all NFL draft, players, everything like that. But have you heard about this guy, Dan Campbell, Stefan? Have you heard of Dan freaking Campbell? Have you heard of him?
Something about kneecaps or something. I don't know. It rings a bell.
We're going to bite a kneecap off. We're going to smile at you. We're going to take your other kneecap. We're going to smile at you. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. We're going to be the last one standing. All right. That's going to be the mentality.
That's going to be the mentality, Stefan. And you know what? Dan Campbell actually he gave me a little soundbite about all that garbage you were just talking. And he simply said this.
You've had enough of that.
He's had enough of your soccer takes.
You've had enough of that.
He's had enough of you pretending you could beat me in basketball.
You've had enough of that.
And he's definitely had enough of you talking about the sport we shall not speak of here on the podcast.
You've had enough of that.
Dan freaking Campbell is the head coach of the Detroit Lions. He's had enough of that bleep. And he's ready to bite some kneecaps. He's ready to take hunks out of people. What do you think about Dan Campbell as the head coach? Are you fired up or what?
I'm just happy the dude doesn't weigh 400 pounds and he's not the smartest guy in the room all the time. But I love the energy. The dude is a trip, but I think that relates to the players. I people want to play for him. He got me fired up. Like, he's gonna get the players fired up. Everyone you talk to is like, this guy just gets you going. You freaking look at Matty P. It was just kind of this big blob just of whatever. So no, I'm excited. I think it's the right fit, the passion, the enthusiasm, the energy. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be a player's coach for sure, which obviously our last set of guys was not. I think people loathed them in the locker room. So that alone right there has got me excited. Like, let the players have someone who they actually want to win for. You know what I'm saying? So the guy, he's obviously saying the right things. He's putting off the right energy. And I think he's actually gonna, he's gonna learn from his time in Miami and all that good stuff. He was actually on the Pat McAfee show not too long ago. I was listening to him. He actually put about a solid half hour time talking to the guys over on that show, and it was just refreshing. He's just very real. He's very realistic, but he doesn't have this like big ego that's gonna like be his detriment. The guy is just gonna come to work every day. He's gonna like just put his best foot forward. I think it's just gonna get the players like just amped up. He's got me amped up. I think it's the right fit. He's putting the right pieces around him too. He's not like he's not gonna let expectations or just unrealistic goals kind of get in the way. He's gonna shoot him straight. He's gonna do what he does best, and he's gonna let the other professionals around him do what they do best. So I like it so far. On paper, in interviews, it's all good to me, bro.
Do you know a word that I think Dan Campbell might use a lot if you were out like drinking a brew with him or talking football? You want to know one word he might use?
What?
Bruh.
I could see him dropping bros. I mean, you want to know what his theme music might be if he walks in the room for his first team meeting? You want to know?
Bruh.
Bro.
I bet he's going to be on time those team meetings.
I had my other buddy Aaron on, and he was just talking about Matt Pat. He called him Round. just randomly called him Round. I was just like, I've never heard anybody called Round in my life. It was funny. But yeah, I mean, Matt Pat didn't.
I was going to say, I don't know why you're hating on Dan Campbell. The man's a high-level athlete, not unlike myself. We like to just kick it with the fellas. You know, we talk like we talk. We act like we talk. We're just a bunch of, like, I guess, meatheads. But hey, don't hate the player, hit the game.
I don't have that. I wish I had that Booker T drop, but I don't have it. But like I like Dan Campbell. He's bringing crazy juice. He's funny. Everybody seems to love him. This is my question to you, and please, I don't need a 30-minute answer, bro. But is this guy gonna win ball games on Sundays or what? That's what it's gonna come down to.
I mean, not next year, but he will eventually. I mean, I've never been so excited to suck in my life. Like, we're going to be really bad next year. It's going to be great for our future. And the man, I think, yeah, he's going to win. You know, I think it's the change up, the thing we needed. You know, that burst of energy, that shot in the arm. So yeah, we're going to win. It's not going to be next year, but I think the NFL has proven with like the Browns, with the Bills, Miami, who else? I mean, 2-3 years is all you need to have a legit turnaround. So, yeah, my man Dan Campbell, he knows what it is. He's going to come in. He's going to make some moves. Brad Holmes, obviously very smart. He got that laid back, just smooth approach. It's a good combination. We got this.
I like it a lot. I mean, if Dan Campbell, Dan Free, and please address him by his government sometimes when you're on the show. It's Dan, middle name Freaking, last name Campbell, please. And if he wins here in Detroit, I may be simply this.
That was amazing, bro.
Exactly. It's going to be real amazing. It's going to be crazy. Legendary status, no doubt, for Mr. Campbell and Mr. Holmes. But I'm excited to see what they bring. I mean, like you say, it's all about what draft picks you make, what trades they make, what acquisitions they make. And then, hey, when we kick the ball off on Sundays, they got to find ways to win. And I'm not going along with your whole, we're just going to be horrible. Somebody was saying today the Lions are going to be in there for the number 1 pick next year. Do you know what I got to say to that?
Drink it in, man.
Drink that Detroit Koolaid, because as you noted, this is the not for long league. This is the NFL, and you can flip it around anytime in a very quick fashion. So I think the NFL, as well as fans, opponents, everybody's going to be kind of surprised by what the Lions put out there when it comes to offensive playmakers. We all know the offense is ahead of the defense at this point, but it only takes a couple good pass rushers, maybe a nasty middle linebacker, and our corners to come along, and we could be playing some decent defense as well. So I'm not just waving the white flag in 2021 and, we'll win a couple games. No, I think you can build it right, build it quicker, and also just give me a fun product. Give me Dan Campbell over there biting kneecaps and yelling at referees and getting his players all fired up, maybe a chest bump, some things on the sideline I can get excited about, put up some points on offense and try to actually, stop someone on defense. I mean, that would be tremendous to actually see a defensive stop for the first time in 3 seasons here in Detroit. But I'm excited about him.
Well,
Sounds like you're
listen,
on board as well.
We can't be any worse at tackling if we get some sort of replacement for your boy from the second round a couple years ago, Tavai, cardboard box, whatever you want to refer to him. Yeah, listen, the defense obviously is behind the offense.
Bruh.
But dude, we're doing a complete rebuild. That's what we should do. We do it the right way. It won't be for long. We're going to bounce back. But I think it's honestly in our best interest next year to show potential, show that fight. Let the new regime kind of work their way into the NFL as coaches and whatnot. And then, we might surprise people with the energy and whatnot, but that's all good. We actually might know our assignments. Unlike years past, just
exactly.
looking completely confused
but you can't
out
go
there.
out.
But
you can't.
I'm
go
looking
out.
like 2 years from now, man.
You can't go out and lose 10, 12 ball games again. We're sick of it. I mean, do I got to queue up Mr. Campbell again? I mean, how many times do I got to go lose 10 plus ball games before I'm sick of this?
You've had enough of that.
Exactly, Dan Campbell. So, I mean, I think they got to win more. I don't think, even though fans seem to just right now, it's easy to say, oh, whatever happens. Yeah, watch it if they start stacking up 8 losses in a row and see if that goes for the Detroit fans that want to win worse than anybody in the country. So, Stefan, let's do this, man. You got me all riled up. I mean, you started off a bit slow. I tried to pump you up, give you some theme music. You came in there with some interesting takes. I mean, I had to beat you up a little bit. We had to have fun with the soundboard. We need a break, man. We got to get our great sponsors in here on the show. And we come back. I mean, I want to see, heading into free agency, the draft's a month and a half away, and just get your feel for maybe what they'll do there, as well as we got some news today. Right before we got recording, we got some news on Mr. Kenny Golladay, Mr. Okwara, and other players for the Lions. So come back and talk about them a little bit as well, bro. You feel all right about that, bro?
Feeling mighty fine,
Bruh.
Everybody, we'll be right back. What's going on, everybody? This is your host, Derek Oakrey of the Detroit Koolaid Cast, and this is normally where I tell you about some of our great sponsors. But today, I want to tell you about my other Lions podcast. It's called Believe in Lions, and that's spelled BLEAV on the Believe Podcasting Network with both myself and Lions legendary safety Benny Blades. Yeah, you know who he is, the hard-hitting safety Benny Blades. Played for the Lions. He also played for you know what it is, the University of Miami, those Miami Hurricanes. He mentions it multiple times on the show. Benny loves to talk about his Hurricanes, his Lions, and I love to play this soundbite on the show. We have a ton of fun on that show. We laugh, we joke, we talk Lions. Like I said, he brings up the Hurricanes. I talk about my Michigan Wolverines. It's a really fun show. Benny loves the Lions. He tells great stories from his playing days, as well as we're just rooting on this team. We BLEAV in the Lions. So please go ahead, find it on your favorite podcast platform. Hit that subscribe button and check it out. Share it with a friend. We really appreciate it. So check out Believe. BLEAV in Lions with myself and Benny Blades. Thank you guys so much. Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers are back from the break. Really appreciate you listening to the show. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. We always tell you if you can leave a review on iTunes, that really helps out the show. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, TuneIn. We're on Amazon Music now. You can literally just tell Alexa to play the show. She knows where it's at. She knows where we're pouring out that Detroit Kool-Aid, and any other podcast platform you want to check out. So again, nobody's working harder than the Detroit Koolaid Cast Wednesdays and Fridays. You can also find my other Lions podcast called Believe in Lions. That's spelled BLEAV in Lions on the Believe Podcasting Network, dropping every Thursday morning as well. So we just got everything Lions covered for you today. I'm super happy that Stefan came back on the show. It'd been a while since me and him had talked sports, talk football. We just said, let's turn on the mics and do it on the show. So hopefully we'll be able to get him back from time to time and talk some game. But Stefan, man, you had a good first part of the show. We got to keep that rolling. We got to keep this thing going. We got more Lions to talk about. So free agency, man, a week away, 17th of March. Where are you at with the Lions? You hoping they bring in some big names? You hoping they lay out? Just in general, where are you at with the team in free agency this year?
Yeah, man. Obviously, you're definitely more the expert on the free agency stuff. Like play Mr. GM. I need to do my research. I'm going to focus on more like the cuts and whatnot. But I know there's a lot of wide receivers out there in free agency. Obviously, that's promising. God knows we need defensive help. We can pick up a piece or two. Obviously, very important. I've definitely been focusing more on the draft. I'm kind of curious what you have to say. I haven't talked to you in a minute about free agency and kind of get your takes on, where you see some potential, room for growth.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. There's been a lot of, like you said, the cuts have been big where they've kind of been saving that money. The NFL is a crazy sport that way where, you sign these players, nothing's guaranteed. Now, they always talk about the money that's saving you. Sometimes I always look at, well, you still got to pay Trufant, and they're probably going to let go of Coleman. There's probably going to be some money left there. So they never tell you, like, hey, you might be saving like $6 million, but you're also still paying this bum to not play for you. So I always consider that as well. But when you're talking about free agency this year, this is where I fall more in the realm like you were talking before about, hey, you know, I want to have an exciting team and I want to win, but this is where I hold my cards in free agency. I'm not trying to go out, spend big money, make Sports Center. I'm trying to have a really low-key free agency. And if I'm Brad Holmes, there's all these players that are kind of in that mid-tier, even the low tier that, you know, maybe were drafted high and just haven't panned out, guys that are in the prime of their career when it comes to age, guys that you're not going to have to shell out a bunch of money for. That's where I'd really be looking. I know I've thrown out on Twitter. You can find me at Derek Okrie. That's spelled DEREK OKRIE. You know, I've been throwing out like this receiver core of guys that I'd like, and it's like Demarcus Robinson from the Chiefs, Josh Reynolds from the Rams. You know, maybe even take a flyer on a John Ross, a guy that went in the top 10 a few years ago, crazy speed, but hasn't put it all together. You know, like those are the kind of gambles I'd be taking on players at all positions, but just, you know, hinting on receivers is like, where are those guys that have a lot of upside, aren't going to cost you a lot, and will fill needs so that when you do go into the draft, you can be totally wide open and just take, as they always say, best player available, real good football players, guys that you think are core pieces. I mean, that's what we need to do in the first couple rounds of the draft, not this, I need a linebacker, I need a safety, I need to take one right now. It's like, no, who's the best guy and who's going to be the best guy for a long time is the kind of people I'd be trying to identify with this new regime, as well as, you know, what's football now? Football's changed a lot. So, you know, they all just tight up. What are your thoughts on tight end? If you've probably heard about Kyle Pitts, we obviously have TJ Hawkinson, but do you buy it at all that the game has changed and they, you know, you might need to take these guys in the middle of the field rather than just taking, you know, the same old positions all the time?
You know, like I totally understand, you know, drafting the best available, you know, not getting overwhelmed with, you know, we need a linebacker. No matter what happens, we're going to get a linebacker. But just touching back on free agency, I will say I'm actually excited about having, I feel like, people who can assess talent, you know, whether that's Brad Holmes' track record, whether that's, you know, people like Dorsey coming in as, you know, as an advisor and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. Because, again, that's not my forte by any means, but I definitely have to agree, like you said, as far as, you know, finding the right pieces, you know, that balance, you know, finding like players who are going to be mid-level guys, but they're going to fill a need properly, not just like, not going to cause a splash. They're not going to ESPN headline. They're just going to come in, do their job. They're going to get, you know, get paid properly, and it's not going to be detrimental to the growth of the team. And then going into the draft, I mean, I like Hawkinson. You know, I think his upside is still very, you know, very bright. It's a lot of untapped talent. I mean, I know he was a big Stafford supporter. You know, he was a big, you know, big on all his talent. And of course, you know, just kind of throwing those 50-50 balls to the big guy. But, you know, when you mentioned Pitts, obviously the dude's a freak. But so was Calvin. Calvin was a freak. We didn't actually go anywhere. So I'd be very hesitant to actually take Pitts, even though the man is just a straight freak. But I think we should just, you know, focus on the defense first and foremost. There's a lot of playmakers out there, you know, except there's people like Ross, these raw, talented guys. When they find the right fit, they take off. So, I mean, God knows, like, who knew freaking Tannehill was going to be a decent quarterback. I mean, you know, you change situations, you come into the right, you know, scenario, and you know, the possibilities are endless. So that's where I'm looking forward to seeing a true staff, you know, come in and put these pieces in place properly.
All right, Stefan. So here's the thing. I mean, I know you've listened to the show in the past. I'm sure with your busy schedule and this new lady in your life, you don't dial us up every week. But if you did, you would know that you shall not speak also the name of Ryan Tannehill on this show. I can't stand Ryan Tannehill. He's a horrible quarterback, horrible football player. Just because he's had some recent success does not mean he's a good talent or somebody that I would ever want on my team. I know people love him just because he's putting up to. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, like you said, you're hesitant on Pitts. here's the thing. And then you went back to the defense. Like, this is what you're missing, man. This is like you just talked yourself in and out and around in a circle because you said you shouldn't just pigeonhole needs, or I shouldn't just go get the linebacker. Yet then you want to pass over premier players because they don't fit your spot. They don't fit your side of the ball that you want to draft. That's not how you draft, man. You don't go into the draft saying, well, I need to fix defense. You go into the draft saying, all right, at number 7, who is not only the best player, but the best fit for this new team we're building. And that could be on offense or defense. So my thing is, I'm not necessarily advocating for Kyle Pitts. What I'm saying is that if the board falls a certain way and he's the best talent, he's 6'4", 200 some, he can run, he can play the middle of the field, you even call him a receiver if you want. Like, having him and TJ Hawkinson and DeAndre Swizzle and Jared Goff and probably another receiver or two, like I mentioned, that we got, that could make us a quality team without even having to get to the defense yet. So, there is something about outscoring people. Go ask the Kansas City Chiefs. Go ask the other teams that are doing well in the National Football League. The days have passed to some degree about run it, 3 yards a cloud of dust, play tough defense. Yeah, you still need some of that. But if you can just straight up put up points and stretch defenses and kill them that way, that's another approach. So you don't want to fall into this old man thinking about, I got to go fix my defense, get a linebacker, get this, when you might be passing up on premier talent. So Jamar Chase, do I want to take a receiver? Not necessarily, but he might be the guy. Do I want to take Devontae Smith? Not really, because he's about 160 pounds and you could probably lift more than him in the weight room, but he's a ball player and he fits a premier talent that I'm looking for if I have to pick there in the top 10 of the draft. So that's what I'm saying, man. Take your gambles in free agency on young guys that might have upside and aren't going to cost you, and then the draft, just sit there and go, who do we love best for our team? Whether it's a tight end, a wide receiver, a defensive end, a linebacker, anything. You just go get it. Start stacking up talent.
Right. Listen, I hear you, bro. Like, I will just say this. Our defense was historically bad last year. So I guess that's why I'm going to be hesitant. First, I also think we should hopefully trade back. Hopefully if we get out of 7 and we stack up some picks, but maybe we'll get into that a little more. But again, I will say this: you're the expert more so on the free agency game. I will default to you, in that regard. But like I mentioned before, we had Calvin Johnson, we had Barry Sanders, we've had some all-time great players, and what has it done for us? So I get it. Maybe I'm same old Lions, just negative Nancy. But listen, I need to see some differences. NFL is an offensive league more and more nowadays. So I'm all over the place. It's like, I feel like we have so many needs though. I'll end by saying this. We have so many needs overall right now. I guess I don't know where to begin. But I would be shocked if it was with the Pitts, but I get what you're saying. We got to have those high, super talented players, but man, it's tough. Tight end.
Let me
receiver,
fill up that cup, man.
They're kind of a dime a dozen.
Let me fill up that cup for you.
Drink it in, man.
Like everybody wants to say we got no idea where to start. We have no talent. Like there's quite a few football players that, even though they continue to either not play or be hurt or whatever the situation is, I mean, I'm not sitting here giving up on Sean Hand, Tracy Walker, A.O., Okudah, Trey Flowers on the defensive side of the ball. So when you're talking about filling holes, all I'm trying to fill is basically every linebacker that we have, and they're bringing back Jamie Collins. I got in a big Twitter beef with people about that. All of a sudden, Jamie Collins is the best linebacker in football, I guess. People going on and on about him. I'm like, saying Jamie Collins is our best linebacker is saying it's the warmest day in Antarctica to me. I mean, it means nothing. I could care less at that point. He's a bum. He's not a hard worker. He's overpaid, and he's 32 years old. Like, I'm ready to move on from him and get a new captain in the middle of the defense. Oh no, we love, what a great signing. Okay, tell me that next year when people are just running away from him, he's missing tackles. But my point to you is just, circling back to the whole how you build a team is just, I just didn't want you to get caught up in the whole, defense first, and like you're going back to what the Lions did years ago. Do you think Calvin Johnson has any impact on the current Lions team, what they did? No. You don't want to know why they didn't win with him back then? Because they had him, a quarterback, a high-priced defensive tackle named Ndamukong Suh, and nobody else. And they didn't have the rest of the team. They never built a run game. They never did anything else to be explosive on offense. It was just him. So you can't compare him to that, or you can't say because we drafted 3 receivers years ago that we can't do it now. Like, that just doesn't work for me ever, because it's such a different, situation, different game. It's just sort of like, yeah, I get it that certain positions are important in the NFL 50 years ago and today, but I also get that the game is a lot more open now. So I don't need a 240-pound fullback anymore, right? So I don't need a bulking linebacker in the middle of my defense that can't run like Jelani Tavai. I need like a freaky linebacker that get after the quarterback and cover tight ends. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, is get your mind around this new game and this new situation, and don't freak out if they take a tight end or a wide receiver or another position, maybe even like an offensive tackle. You're like, oh, what? I thought we had a good offensive line. Okay, well, now you have a great one because you just took another stud at the top of the draft at a premier spot. So I just don't write anything off, is kind of what I'm telling you and trying to get you ready for, rather than you saying, well, 10 years ago, I mean, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Yeah, I'll say this. I like what Brad Holmes is doing on interviews and going out there and talking. He's playing the game right, because he has openly stated he's not leaving anything off the table, whether that's quarterback, whether that's anything. I think, and I kind of hope, we are going to trade back number 7, but he's playing his hand well. I think that's something Patricia did very poorly. Everyone knew at 3 we're taking Okudah. It was like the worst kept secret ever, and we didn't play any sort of like strength in our position there. So I like what Brad Holmes brings to the table in that regard. He's going out there. He said we're gonna pick talent. We're gonna evaluate everybody, properly, etc. So I feel you there. He's already shown tight end number 7. I hope we don't.
I don't know if we got a delay, Stefan. What's going on? We're stepping all over each other, but it doesn't matter. We're talking football here. Like, Brad Holmes has already shown himself, man. He's already made a great move with Matt Stafford. He's like you say, said some good things at the podium. I just need to see a little bit more from him, but I think he has a really good pulse for where things are at. I could be proven wrong on that. I sure hope not, but I think it's going to be real interesting what they do. Now, speaking of Brad Holmes, let's finish out with this. I figured we'd save this till the end of the show. Before we got recording, word came out the last day or so that they're going to let Kenny Golladay go to free agency. They're not tagging him. They're not going to try to trade him. They're not going to pay him. And they also said the same with Romeo Okwara. Okwara's brother is here, but they're letting him go out into free agency. Neither guy will be back. I don't think I've ever seen it where they let people go to free agency and then they return to the team. So those guys are both heading out the door. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I would say I like Kenny. I'm a fan. He's just not worth it. He doesn't fit what we're doing right now. I can't pay a receiver $20 million a year when there's such depth in not only the draft but the free agency market. Again, I wish him well. I wish it would work out that he could sign here, but he showed last year he didn't want to be here when he didn't pick up what we offered him, $8 million a year. So, I mean, again, I get it that he's gone. Okwara, again, great player, great piece. He doesn't fit what we're doing. We can't be paying him, even if we were to franchise tag him. It's too much money. Like, I think we're gonna use that money smart this offseason and going forward. I think we've seen promise in Holmes and the team around him. So I agree. I'm bored with the not picking up Kenny, not picking up Okwara, and moving on. So I think too, like, we're getting a 3rd round compensatory pick, if I'm not mistaken, for Kenny. We got 2 firsts, 2 thirds already for next year's draft. That's exciting. So I think the value wasn't there, and that's kind of where I stand now. I'm not really too upset about it.
Good stuff there. I mean, we like to have fun here on the show. So do this for me, Stefan. Like, tell me, let's pretend you're having the talk with Kenny Golladay about your decision to not bring him back. Tell me what that might sound like and mix in a few bros for the people.
Kenny, bro, listen, It's been real, but 18 million, 20 million, good luck. Best of luck in the future.
That was only one bro. I mean, you should have got like 10 in. That was the gimmick. Come on, man.
Oh, my bad. My bad, bro.
Oh,
Kenny,
we got to get Stefan warmed back
you're
up
great,
for the
bro,
show.
But, bro, you got to go. You got to go, bro. You got to go.
Bruh.
Oh my goodness, hilarious! Like I'm with you. I've always been a Kenny Golladay guy. I think he played really well. I do think he was a little bit hampered this past year by that hammy, that hip, whatever he had that kept him out. I don't know, like 10 games or however long he was sitting on the sideline there and never even practiced, never even got back. And like you say, pretty bold of him to turn down $18 million. I mean, I know you probably hated Matt Pat and company, but that's a big chunk of change. We'll see if he gets it. Romeo Okwara, to me, good football player. He's been good at multiple years here in Detroit, but also a big price tag. So I'm good with it. I mean, I guess when it comes down to dollars and cents, it's like instead of paying Kenny 18 plus, you could then go take Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith or even Waddle from Alabama and pay them, 7, for over a 4-year span. And that just makes a lot of sense, quote unquote, to me right off the bat when you're talking money as well as football players. Like those guys are all 21, 22 years old. Kenny's 27, 28, pretty soon. So it just makes a lot of just a good move, I think, for the Lions, and they can reshape everything in their vision. And I'm excited about this new vision, man. I think we can end the show with this. I mean, I've served you up a couple things of Detroit Kool-Aid. We've got you back in the mix here talking football. I've had to stir you up a couple times. I've had to try to get you to say bro multiple times because it makes me laugh and the people love it. But how about you leave us with like a little bit of Stefan hype on the Detroit Lions about kind of get us all riled up about why they should believe in this team, why it's going to come together, why you like the moves. I mean, give us a little something here. Give them a little Detroit Kool-Aid and cornbread. You know what I'm saying?
Drink it in, man.
Cornbread.
Listen.
Do your thing.
Listen, bro, you can't force energy. You can't force it. I'm going to do me, bro. Okay. Listen. So when it's time to come on the pod and bring what I got to bring, just sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Okay. That being said, going forward, I haven't had this much hope for a Lions team in a long time. I'm 33 years old. Probably that's the first time I've had some real hope, not just some drinking the Kool-Aid, trying to lie to myself. We're gonna tear it down. We're gonna build it back the right way. We got Dan freaking Campbell on the books. He's gonna bring in the energy. He's gonna bring the passion. Brad Holmes is going to come to work every friggin' day. He's gonna bring a stability to the team that I think hasn't been seen in my lifetime, not at least since I can remember. So going forward, listen, the Lions are on the right track. I finally have some hope, some bright future ahead, and I'm excited to talk football in the future and not be pissed off. We'll leave it at that.
Bro. You came through. You did your thing. You're back on the show. I mean, I will continue serving you Detroit Kool-Aid because that's what we do here on the show. And I'm going to get you fired up about this football team because, as you stated, this is the most exciting offseason in the history of the Detroit Lions. I've got draft picks galore. We got a clear canvas when it comes to the football team. We still got ball players left, right, and center. We got a new quarterback under center. We got a running back's probably the best guy since Burry's been here. We got a tight end. We're going to have wide receivers, and we're going to put together a defense. So, everybody, that's what we're serving up here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast.
Lions.
With my man, Stefan, the bro of all bros, the king of bros, serving up Kool-Aid.
Drink it in, man.
Everybody, take care. Drink it in. We'll catch you on Friday right here on the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Take care, everybody.
Peace, love, and joy, baby. Go Lions.
Pack the bag, start the plane. This game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions. Drink it in, man.